Hi friends, welcome to our next video. It is a continuation of our last video. So in this class we will be discussing about supply. I hope this class will be useful for students who are studying in grade 8, 9, 10th and 11th and 12th. Okay, so let's start our class. So today's class we will be discussing about definition of supply curve, factors influencing supply, increase and decrease in supply, extension and contraction of supply. So this much area we will be covering in this particular video. So let's start our class. So we are starting our class with the definition of supply. Supply refers to the various quantity of a good or service that producers are willing to sell at all the possible market prices. So supply refers to the quantity that producers are willing to offer for sale at various price levels. As we see in this particular graph, there is a positive relationship between price and quantity supplied, because when the price is increasing, producers will try to sell more quantity of output to the market, right? So because of that, we have a positive relationship between the price and quantity supply, or that is known as otherwise direct relationship. In the case of demand, we have an inverse relationship. Here the demand between price and quantity supplied is direct, right? When price increases, demand is supply is also increasing, so that relationship is direct, right? Okay, here we can see a supply schedule, right? So here quantity supplied are given at various price level. From the table we can see a positive relationship between price and supplied, right? Price and quantity supplied. When the price is more, that is when the price is $5, 10 quantities are offered by the producer for sale, and at the same time when you look down, when the price is just $1, only 2 quantities offering by the producer for sale, right? So it shows there is a direct relationship between the price and quantity supplied, right? Okay, so and when we draw that in a particular in a graph, it will be a positively sloped supply curve as you see now, right? The law of supply. So from the previous explanation, it is evident that the law of supply has, or the supply has a positive relationship with the price of the product, right? So we can derive the supply definition or law of supply. So law of supply explains other things remaining the same, an increase in price will lead to an increase in the supply, and a decrease in price will lead to decrease in supply. Okay, other things remaining the same, that is the precondition. So other factors should remain the same. An increase in price will lead to a rise in supply, and a decrease in price will lead to a fall in supply. Okay, so that is the direct relationship between the price and quantity supplied is explained with the help of law of supply, right? Okay, so in this particular slide you can see extension and contraction of supply. That is, there are two types of shifts in supply curve, that are movement along with the same supply curve and movement to a different supply curve. So this extension and contraction of supply curve is explained with the help of movement along with the same supply curve. Extension of supply means more quantity of a product is offering by the producer due to a rise in price. due to a rise in the price. For example, if I am explaining with the help of this particular graph, if the price increase from $3 to $4, what will happen? The producer will offer an additional 2 quantity of output for sale, that is from quantity 6 to quantity 8, right? So when and at the same time, when the price reduce from or fall from $3 to $4, producer will reduce the supply from 6 quantity to 4 quantity. So increase in supply, extension of supply means due to an increase in price, more quantity is offering. So a upward movement along with the same supply curve is known as extension of supply. On the other hand, the contraction of supply means due to a fall in the price, less quantity of a product is offering for sale. So that is downward movement along with the same supply curve is known as contraction of supply, right? Upward movement is known as extension of supply. Downward movement is known as contraction of supply, right? And we are going to see now what is increase in supply. So supply curve, the initial supply curve is S1, right? So that is our original supply curve. Increase in supply refers to at the same price level, more quantity of a product is offering for sale. Okay, at the same price, when more quantity of a product is offering for sale, the supply curve will shift to the right from S1 to S2, that is known as increase in supply. So here price is constant, maybe because of a favorable weather condition, maybe because of availability of skilled labor force, advanced technology. What will happen? The producers will be able to sell products at same price level, more quantity, right? So more quantity will be able to sell at same price. So that is known as increase in supply. On the other hand, we have decrease in supply too. Decrease in supply means less quantity of a product is offering for sale at the same price level. So here price is the same, but producers are offering less quantity of a product. It can be because of what? Bad weather condition, unavailability of skilled labor force, right? So these kinds of reasons will lead to a backward shift in the supply curve, that is known as decrease in supply. Okay, so increase and decrease in supply. Okay, so a decrease in supply shift the supply curve to the left, and increase in supply will shift the supply curve to the right. In both the situation, price is constant. Okay, price is not changing, only supply curve is shifting to the right or to the left. Clear, right? Okay. Now we are going to see what are the different factors influencing supply. The first factor is subsidy and taxes. If the government is providing subsidies to the firms, they will be motivated. As a result, they will produce more, right? And at the same time, in the case of tax, what will happen? When the government imposes tax, it is a demotivation for the producers. It will affect the production. Technology, that is the second factor. Technology, what will happen? When there is a technological advancement, more quantity of products will be able to produce, right? So technological advancement will boost the production. So as a result, it will help to increase the supply, right? Then number of sellers as well as other goods. Number of other goods, what means what? Business considered to the price of other goods. what is available in the market, that is substitute and complementary goods, right? Price of other good is also a factor which influencing the supply, right? For example, if products are available cheaper than us in the market, sometimes the producers will reduce the supply for a time being, right? So other goods, businesses consider the price of goods they could be producing, right? So that also will be considered. Number of sellers, so that is the another factor which influence in the supply, right? So when there is more number of sellers of a product, when we take the market as a whole, what will happen? Supply will be more, right? Then expectation, business consider future prices and economic condition, that is future expectations, what will happen in the coming future. So there comes sometimes, if the business organization is expecting an increase in the price in the coming future, they might hold the product, right? So future expectation is another factor which influencing supply. Then resource cost or cost of production is another important factor which influencing supply. When the cost of production is more, producers will reduce production, right? Cost of production, it will affect the profit of the firm, right? So resource cost is another important element which influencing supply, right? Cost of production, technology. So technology, these all things are already explained. Cost of production, if the cost of production is less, firms will be producing more, and if the cost of production is more, firms will be producing less, right? Technological advancement will increase production of goods and services. Then market expectation of future increase or decrease in the market demand, it will also affect the demand, the same point, right? Number of sellers of the product, if the number of sellers are more, it will also increase the supply, right? Prices of the related commodities, related goods, right? It is also, that is prices of substitute and complementary goods. So these are all different factors which influencing supply of a product. So for exam point of view, you can write 4 or 5 factors which influencing supply, right? Price of the product, then we can say market expectation, number of sellers for the product, technological advancement, technology, right? Then tax and subsidies. 4 or 5 points is enough when we think from the perspective of exam. Okay, so I hope this video will help you to get some information regarding what is supply, and if you have any further doubts, please comment. I will try to clarify it. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.